Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about lines and finding equations for lines. We're going to continue with what we've talked about before. We're going to look at a couple different ways to do it, but the first we're going to look at is how to write equations when we have a slope and a point. So to do so, we need to have our three important equations. The first of which is our slope equation, right? Okay, so remember, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is, anytime we have a point where we can, or any 2 points, we can find the slope in between them, right? The next important equation that we need to know is our slope-intercept, right? Our slope-intercept equation we can write right away if we know our slope and we know our our y-intercept, which is b, right? Or we have a point that will tell us what b is. But we need to know those two things to write it in slope-intercept right away, okay? So remember, that's going to be y equals mx plus b, right? Where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept, okay? Now, if we are finding y-intercept from a point, you'd need to know this point. You have to know the point when x is 0, right? So the y-intercept is 0 and then b. That's our y-intercept. Now, if they give us a number for x, like 4 or -12 or something kind of like that, we can't put it in slope-intercept form right away. We have to use the third and final important equation, which is our point-slope form. Okay, so point slope form looks like this. So that's going to be y minus y1 is equal to m times the quantity x minus x1. Okay, so that's our point slope form, and we can use that whenever we have a point and a slope, right? If they give us the slope and they give us a point, then we can put it in that form. Also, this one is used quite a bit when they give us 2 points. We can find the slope in between it, and then we can use one of our points to write our equation. Okay, so let's look at some problems. Okay, we're going to look at a couple. We're going to look at these 4 right here. So first off, I need to erase all this stuff. Okay. All right, so all of it's gone. All right, so let's look at this equation right here. So they give us a slope of 3 and a point. Okay, so if they give us a slope and a point, we need to write it in point slope form to start. Okay, always the case. All right, so let's do that. So we know in our point we have an x1 and a y1, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to write y minus y1, so in our case a -3, is equal to our slope of 3, that's this number, times x minus 3. Okay, so assuming they want it in point slope form, this is the correct answer. But let's say that they want it in slope intercept form. Okay, so if they want to slope intercept form, then we have to do a little bit more work. Well, first off, we also know that minus and negative is plus. Either is correct, but this is kind of nice, right? Now, if we want it in slope intercept form, okay, I'm going to write this as point slope form. Okay, so slope intercept form, we're going to change up a little bit. First, what we have to do is we have to distribute that 3, the slope. I'm going to distribute to both things. And I get y plus 3 is equal to 3x minus, okay, minus 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. Now, if I look at this, the only thing that's stopping me from this and slope-intercept form is my plus 3 right here. So I need to somehow move that to the other side. And I do that by subtracting 3 from both sides. Okay, so this goes away, and I'm left with y equals 3x, and then minus 9 minus 3, subtract them together is minus 12. Okay, so you'll notice that this equation right here that we started with in point slope form and this equation right here in slope intercept form have the same slope of 3, but they have different numbers elsewhere. Okay, so that's important. Okay, so I have a couple more problems that we can go over as well. But if you feel confident, you can, you're more than welcome to stop the video and do the rest of the problem. Okay, let's go to the next one. We have a slope of 2 and a point. Okay, x1, y1. All right, so we'll start with this. So we say y minus y1, which is 6, is equal to slope of 2 times x minus 2. Now, if they wanted this in point slope form, this is their correct answer. But let's say they want it in slope-intercept form. We need to do more work, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start by distributing the 2, and I get y minus 6 is equal to 2x minus 4. Again, super close to point slope form or slope-intercept form, but I still have that minus 6 on the left side. So I need to move that over, and I move that over by adding 6 to both numbers, and I'm left with y equals 2x plus 2. This is in slope-intercept form. Again, point slope form is in light blue, slope-intercept form is in yellow. Next one. The difference between this one and the last one, now our slope is a fraction, but that's okay. We say y minus a negative 2. It's okay that I put y plus 2 because it's minus a negative, right? That's equal to 1/3 times the quantity x minus 3. Okay? You'll notice the pattern. I start with distributing right here. All right, so 1/3 times x. Okay, so y plus 2 is equal to 1/3 x, and then 1/3 times 3 is just going to be 1. Alright, it's alright. No mistake, no big deal. Alright, 1/3 x, and then minus 1/3 times 3 is 1. Okay? Again, this is close to what we want, but the only difference is we have that plus 2 on the left side. We have to get rid of that by subtracting 2, you get y equals 1/3 x, and then minus 3. Okay? Good. Over here, last one, question number 4. We have y minus negative 2. Again, it's okay I put y plus 2 because it's minus a negative, is equal to 2/7 times x minus 2. Okay? So, my next step, you probably can anticipate it. I'm going to distribute. Y plus 2 is equal to 2/7x, and then 2/7 times negative 2 is negative 4/7. Okay? So I'm pretty close to where I want it to be. Again, the only difference between what I have now and slope-intercept form is that I have that plus 2 on the left side. So the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 2. Now, subtracting 2 from 4/7 is a little bit difficult, right? Because it needs to have a common denominator whenever we're adding or subtracting fractions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think of 2 as 2/1. But how can I have 2/1 but with a 7 on the bottom? So what I do is I multiply the top and bottom by 7. And so I'm really, instead of subtracting 2 from both sides, I'm going to subtract 14/7. Okay? And so now I can just rewrite my equation, right? And I'm going to rewrite it as y equals 2/7x, and then negative 4/7 and negative 14/7 would be negative 18/7. And you're probably wondering, well, this one's the only one that has a fraction for an intercept, but that's okay. We can have fractions, we can have decimals as intercepts. It's no big deal, right? Just like we can have fractions or intercepts for slopes. So hopefully this helped you with these problems. If you have any more problems or have any more questions, feel free to let me know.